All right, so welcome to the weekly roundup here on Hashtag Brant. We've made a few changes. The Tailgaters Index, we cut him. He's gone. Nobody gives a shit. But we do have UI. I like shortening stuff. It's called Useless Information. So this week's useless information is the Palmaris longus. 14% of the population does not have a Palmaris longus. And this is it right here. That tendon that runs, if you get your hand twisted just so, you get it to pop out right there. I don't know if you folks can see that or if it grosses you out. If it does, it's even better. So that Palmaris longus, 14% of the population does not have one. And it turns out they don't need it because it's an evolutionary leftover from, I don't know, something to do with the apes that we're ancestors to and that type of thing. And apparently, if you need to graft, for some reason, a tendon somewhere, they can actually remove that and use it. So it's actually kind of useful information, but we're going to call it useless information. Okay, the Palmaris longus. I didn't like that. I like that one much better. 1968, 49 years ago, the Beatles, also known as the White Album. I don't know why I'm showing it to you because it's just white. But anyway, this is it. Trust me, it's James' copy. I actually don't have one on vinyl and I don't have one on CD, but James has one. He has a massive collection. Oh, the White Album. It was huge. 30 million copies sold worldwide. Anybody that knows the White Album, I don't really need to tell you anything. Helter Skelter. Yeah, fantastic stuff. It's great. What else was off?
Wild Honey Pie, the continuing story of Buffalo Bill. Great shit, man.
It's awesome. It's fantastic stuff. If you haven't heard it,
go listen to it.
Yeah, go listen to it. Give it a try. Man, it's almost 50 years old and it still stands up. Like Helter Skelter is one of those songs that these hard rock and heavy metal guys listened to back in the day and went, man, that is really, really cool, man. Like, Helter Skelter, Helter Skelter, I ran out of markers, but I got lots more. All right. Unfortunately, also, you see I've got Mercury Blues written down here. In 1991, we lost a legend. Freddie Mercury passed away. It truly is Black Friday because we lost Freddie. Speaking of Black Friday, they should actually rename it the Hunger Games because people in the States kill each other over a $20 crock pot. I don't get it. I really, really don't. I enjoy saving money just the same as the next person. But if I get out of my car and there's a crowd of people at the door, you can be giving TVs away and I'm taking my ass home. I'll come back later on after I've saved up some more money and probably get almost as good a deal. A little bit too much hype over Black Friday as far as I'm concerned, but the retailers love it, so you know, it'll continue. It's actually been around. I took a look today. It's been around, the term has been around since sometime in the mid-50s because it was traditionally when businesses started showing profits because Christmas shopping started ramping up. So before it was a Black Friday, blah, it was, you know, just like, oh yeah, we're making some money now. We're actually going to be able to finish off the year pretty good. It was just a term that people used, and now it's morphed into this giant, humongous sale that lasts for days and days. And oh well, Black Friday. Who doesn't love it? Nobody. Chip flip. This is a very interesting story. I was intrigued by this. Look this up. I meant to look it up and I didn't, and I'm sorry. I apologize. I was not prepped properly for this part of the section. So, Prongles. P-R-O-N-G-L-E-S. Look them up. If you know the game Cards Against Humanity, you'll know that these guys are always up to something. And they're at it again. Prongles have shown up on the shelves at Target stores in the gaming section. But there's actually chips inside. Now what they look very similar to are the knockoff Pringles that you find at places like Shoppers Drug Mart and places like that. They've got their own brand that sort of has a little saddle shape, and they're not exactly like Pringles, but they're close and they're cheaper. Well, this is what Prongles look like. Well, somebody bought a couple of cans because there's two different flavors. and they peeled off the label, and it's one of these no-name brands, very similar to what we see here in Canada. And when they look on the receipt to see how it comes up as what it is they bought, it shows Cards Against Humanity. So what are these guys up to? One of the flavors, I'm going to let you guys look at it. You can look both flavors. I'm going to give you one of the flavors. Salted potato. So I don't know what you guys are up to. I'm going to see if I can't get this video to them and see if they can give me some details maybe. I can't imagine. I'm too small. Stop it. I don't like when the markers don't go where they're supposed to. Oh, the last story. Flat Fool. All right. This guy's good. It's going to be a heck of a story. I'm going to have to keep my eye on this. So Mike Hughes, or as they call him, Mad Mike Hughes. He is a self-taught rocket scientist. Self-taught in quotations. He is actually a limo driver. And this dum-dum believes the earth is flat. So there's the first thing. He's one of these flat earthers. Okay, so let me get this out of my system first. The earth is round! Not flat. Okay? It's round. Stop it. That is enough. The earth is round. It's a globe. It's not flat. Period. Now, on with the story. This is a quote from Mad Mike Hughes, flat earther. He has built himself a rocket, and he says, "I don't believe in science." There's his first fatal error right there. "I know about aerodynamics and fluid dynamics, and how things move through the air, about the certain size of rocket nozzles and thrust. But that's not science, that's just a formula. There's no difference between science and science fiction." I will repeat the last part for those of you who missed it or perhaps didn't believe it. There is no difference between science and science fiction. One more time, because I actually don't believe it. There's no difference between science and science fiction. So I guess next he's going to build himself a phaser, a lightsaber, and a transporter. That would be the next thing. So, because I mean, it's science fiction and science, it's the same thing, right? So I'll be expecting my lightsaber in the mail next week. I'm going to go online and order one from Mad Mike Hughes. So he's building himself a rocket. The purpose to this, and he's funded by Research Flat Earth, which is listen, will you stop it? I bump this thing like 2 or 3 times a week. So he is building himself a rocket to shoot himself up into space so he can click a picture and prove once and for all that the earth is flat, because he doesn't believe NASA. He doesn't believe NASA. The people who build rockets and actually have the rocket science, and it's a real thing, I'm sorry Mike, it's rocket science. So it is science and it's real. And you're using the same formula, but it's still science, you fucking idiot. So this guy's going to shoot himself up in the sky. He's actually doing a test tomorrow, somewhere in the States. Look him up. See if you can find a video or something. I can't wait for this idiot to blow himself up, because that's what's coming. Or eventually somebody's going to shut him down. And when they do, oh, if the government shuts him down, that's going to be another conspiracy. Oh, they shut me down because they don't want me to show the truth. Oh no. I actually hope he gets a couple of rockets in the air. I actually hope he achieves his goal of getting up high enough to see the curvature of the fucking earth and realizes, oh shit, NASA was right. And then when he does come out and say, you know what guys, I went up there, NASA's just, they're not wrong, it's round. And then all of his flat earth buddies can go, you're working for NASA, you're a shill, man. You're just trying to convert us. Well, we're not going to have any of it. We know the earth is flat. Well, I know the earth is round, you stupid dinks. See you next week.